What's going on, everybody? This is Fry. So today I wanted to show you a new mobile game that I've been playing. It's not a sponsored video. This is just a game that I have been playing and been completely addicted to. This is Harvest 101. This is a deck building game. They actually start with a starting deck, which is right below me. I will be explaining the basics and the fundamentals of this game using this sort of very basic, easy to play deck, and then afterwards I will be showing you some really overpowered combo decks that one of them even has basically an infinite combo in it, so that'll be a lot of fun. So again, Harvest 101 is a deck building game, so you are not going to just be playing this cards against an opponent. Instead, you're going to be playing the cards. They'll be shuffled into your discard pile, and then the cards in your discard pile will be going back into your deck, and you'll be able to play them again. Unlike a lot of other deck building games like Slay the Spire, this is a game where you're not fighting enemies. Instead, you are trying to survive on a farm. The goal of each scenario is to survive the number of weeks represented by these little dots you can see over here. There's 7 days per week. We'll have 2 weeks here. And at the end of every single week, you have to get a certain amount of bread in order to survive. If not, you're dead and the game is over. The way that you get bread is by playing these cards. There's many ways of acquiring bread, but the most simple is just to have cards like Empty Field. Empty Field is a single-use card. It's going to be requiring 1 energy. As you can see on the top of the card, you have 3 energy per turn. You're basically just going to play this for 1 energy. It's an empty field. You're sowing it, so it will turn into a fully grown field, go into your discard pile, and then once you go through your entire deck, you're going to be able to draw these fully grown fields then from your deck. You'll be able to play this for 1 energy. You'll get wheat, which is one of the resources in this game, and eventually you'll be able to turn this wheat into bread using the bread mold. This will cost 4 wheat. You can see the top of the card, and it gets 8 bread, turning every wheat essentially into 2 bread apiece. So let me show you the basics of this. Again, we got 3 energy this turn. We'll play an empty field. We'll play an empty field. I have some other cards that I will show you a little bit later what they do. They will make this deck much more efficient. So right now in my discard pile, I created these 2 fully grown fields, and I'll sleep, and it'll be the next day. I don't have any bread yet, but that's okay. I just need 6 by the end of the week. I'll play the other 2 fully grown fields, and then we'll sleep again. Now that there's no cards left in the deck, the cards do not automatically go into your deck until your deck is completely depleted, until it says 0 or until it says less than 5. You draw 5 cards every single turn, so if you can't draw, it will shuffle your discard pile into your deck at that time. There's little events that happen, and there are other resources too in this game. There's wood, which if I had, I'd be able to maybe create like a tool here. You have your wheat that I explained, your bread. You also have wood, which you can use in order to gain an advantage. You can buy certain things and create certain things with wood. You have stone, and you have gold coins. Let me show you the gold coins right now. I am running a card in my deck called Rich Cousin. So this is a card that costs 1 energy, and if you have 0 gold coins, he gives you 2. This is maybe a little bit of the culture, the South Korean culture you're seeing coming out in this game, you know? Like, they'll give you money. If you have money already, he won't give you anything, though. He won't help you out. So we're going to play our 2 fully grown fields, which is going to give us up to 4 wheat. There's actually a special condition in this level. Every time you play a fully grown field, you get extra wheat. So that actually will give us enough to get up to 4 wheat, which is the cost of bread mold. Mold as in a container to bake the bread, not bread mold. Not moldy bread. And now we have 8, which is already enough, by the way, for the entire cost of bread this week. So that's a very efficient strategy. We will sleep. And we can play the remainder of our wheat fields in order to gain again another 4 wheat and be able to create some more bread. Housekeeper is another card I'm running in this deck, which is cost gold. You're going to be able to use the gold you got from your cousin. This draws 4 cards and puts a random soup card in your discard pile. Soups are little free cards that do anything from drawing you cards, searching your card for a deck, able to remove a card from your deck, which is very useful in a deck building game because you eventually are given cards you don't necessarily want, or you can get the almighty chicken soup, which recovers all of your energy. We're not going to be playing any of those since our deck here has 0 cards, so we are just going to sleep. And I'll show you how useful those maids, the housekeepers, can be in the following days. So here's an event. Look, we're able to actually use some of our wheat in order to create some extra bread. So that's just like a free little bonus you got. The events happen whenever the day reaches these little white dots. Every time that day happens, you're going to get a little event. All right. So let me show you some cool combos now. Instead of actually just playing the empty field by itself, we're going to play Housekeeper and draw 4 cards. Also, we get that soup in our discard pile. And we're actually going to just play the second Housekeeper because why not? And we'll get 1 extra field. Now we have 4 empty fields in our hand, and we only have 3 energy in order to plant these. So we're going to use this card Watering Can, which removes all empty fields in hand and adds the same number of fully grown fields to the discard pile. So this essentially is going to be able to play all 4 of our fields for only 1 energy, allowing us to do all 4 of them just for 1. So this is going to convert all 4 of these into our discard pile as fully grown fields, and we still have extra energy in order to play Rich Cousin and get some of that money back for next turn. We actually went through our entire deck that turn, which is really good. You want to, if you can ever get through your entire deck by drawing enough cards, it means you can play every card in your deck basically every turn, which is great. Open the parcel, add a bread mold to hand, so that's cool. We got an extra one of these. And the other thing we can do is use Housekeeper to draw cards, use Housekeeper to draw cards, and we're also running the Sickle, which is basically the Watering Can, except that it works on fully grown fields. Again, all 4 of these fully grown fields are going to go straight into converting, all of them are going to be converting into wheat. Just for 1 energy. You see we gained 4, and we still have 2 energy left, so we can, first of all, use bread mold, 4 of those. We can do our Rich Cousin again. We want to get that gold every turn so you can keep on drawing cards. And yeah, we already have like more than enough bread probably for this entire scenario. So you see at the end, the last day, I'll just sleep through this and not do anything. It checks that you have the right amount of bread. That amount of bread is deducted. And then at the end of every week, they also give you an extra card that you can add to your deck. And you typically want to remove those cards. Every once in a while, those new cards are actually going to be useful. Like we just got Pepper in our deck, which every time we use a soup card, it'll give us some extra bread. So that's awesome. Really, we already have the extra 12 bread, so you don't have to get a surplus. Your score at the end of every single, here, I'll show you what the pepper does. The score at the end of every round, if you have a surplus bread, so any bread that we'd have, let's say in the last week, over the amount you need. So if we would have 13 bread, our score would be 1. If we had 112 bread, which you can do, your score would be 100. This will just give us 3 extra. We don't really need it. So we're going to sleep. Sometimes you just really work really hard. I guess that's kind of the life of a farmer, is that you work really hard for a little bit and then you just sleep the rest of the time. If there's any farmers in the chat, let me know if that's how it works. But we can really just sleep the rest of this week as long as there's nothing stealing our bread, which there are going to be. I will show you that literally next round and how you can leverage that to your advantage. If you have any rats or neighbors or things stealing your breads, obviously you could go underneath the total. But in the meantime, we're just going to sleep the rest of this week and we will come out on top with the correct amount. Past 2 weeks had amount of bread. Success. They give you a little bit of currency. I already completed this level, so they're not giving me that. But the game's very free to play. Like after just playing for a few games and doing like your quests and stuff, you get these blueberries, which are the currency. And just from completing levels, they give you a lot too. You can really get, a full collection of all the basic cards that you need. So very generous, free to play this game. All right, let me show you a little bit more of a fun deck, and we'll do a much harder level using that deck. All right, guys, so here is probably the easiest deck to play in the game that is just so overpowered and absolutely busted. This is the Flute JWIBULNORI deck. So here's a funny card, Flute, which is going to, first of all, cost 0. This you can play for free, and not only that, it recovers one of your energies. So you can just use your energy on other things as much as you want. It also draws you 2 cards. But it also puts 2 rats into the discard pile. And we can click over here and see what a rat does. This will end up infiltrating your deck, that you have to spend energy in order to kill these rats, or else, if not kicked out, meaning if it's in your hand and it just goes into your discard pile from your hand, this is going to steal bread, and it's also going to multiply and make another rat, and these are just going to be all up in your deck stealing all of your bread. And the way, of course, that we are going to be utilizing this card, not only to not lose bread, but to gain bread, is from one of my favorite cards in the entire game. Jibunori! Jibunori replaces rats from the farm with 3 bread each. So it's transforming these evil guys in your discard. Farm just means hand, deck, discard pile. It'll be transforming the rats in your discard pile and actually turning them into bread. This is a really overpowered card. It costs just a little bit of wheat in order to create, and this repeats 5 times. So this can actually turn up to 6 different rats in your deck into this will turn 6 rats in your deck into 3 bread each, so that's 18 bread every single time you play Jibunori. So in the course of just 1 or 2 days, if you're able to turn all of these rats into bread, you're going to have enough bread for everything that you need. I forgot actually to put the 2 really important cards in this deck, which are going to be giving you the wheat you need in order to play the Jibunori. The first one, of course, is Rich Cousin, which I showed you in the last game, which is going to give you 2 extra gold. And then there is a really overpowered card. It is called the Ginsig Trade Ship. Now, Ginsig Trade Ship says if your gold and your wheat, whenever you draw or play this card, so it activates twice, costs nothing. If the number of wheat and gold you have are different, so they're different. If they're both 0, this won't work. But if one's 0, the other one's 1. One is 1 and the other one's 10. It will give you 1 of the lesser. And the idea is if you play Rich Cousin and get your 2 gold every turn, the Ginsig Trade Chip, both when you draw it and when you play it, is going to put wheat into your hand, and those 2 wheat are what you are going to use in order to play your 2 Jibunoris every single turn. You're gonna play 6 flutes every single turn. They're gonna be drawing you your entire deck. You're gonna be having 12 rats in your discard pile and play 2 Jibunori, and you're gonna get 36 bread every single turn. Let me show you this deck in action in a little bit of a hard level. Here is the chicken level. Let's just do this one on hard mode, why not? Here we go. The Jibunori deck. Guys, this is busted. You're going to see in a second. Okay, so the scenario gives you every morning your wheat turns into chickens. That's just a little thing that you can actually kind of grow a chicken farm. There's a lot of chicken synergy cards. But lucky we got the Rich Cousin. That's all we really need to see. It gave us our 2 gold, and we're going to play Flute, which again is filling our discard pile with rats. Ginsig Trade Chip will give us our 2nd wheat. We're going to play all of our flutes, drawing our entire deck, putting 12 rats into our discard pile. And before these are able to get shuffled into our deck and start stealing our food, Jibunori. And just like that, we have 36 out of 15. This is busted, guys. And then we do literally the exact same thing the next day. Get 1. What is this? Get 1 and add 2 eggs to hand. Okay, so eggs are little things that you can add since it's the chicken scenario. It just gives you free bread. Let's just use those. We don't need those to hatch into chickens. And we're going to play our Ginsig Trade Chip to get our 2nd wheat. Flute. Jibunori. You don't have to play the Rich Cousin. By the way, if you try to play the Rich Cousin when you have 2 gold, he's like, greedy guy, you have enough gold. I'm not going to give you gold. Anyway. All right, well, it's day 2 and or day 3 and we're at 74 already. This would help if you had chickens, the straw nest. So this will be giving us a card that you can spend 2 wood on and hatch all the eggs in your hand and turn eggs into chickens. So that's awesome. Trade Ship, Flute, I don't care. Do I look like I care? Jibunori. I mean, that is literally going to be enough to be able to sleep for the entire rest of the 3 weeks and be able to actually have enough bread like for this entire scenario. That is how busted. And imagine if you actually went and did the work and did the flutes and the Jibunori every single day. I don't care. Because the first week you need just 15 here. And then the second week, like it's bigger, you know what I mean? This is with just, the wheat strategy and the fields that we did last time. It would have been a lot harder to sort of catch up. Like here needs 30. The next one, even if it's double, even if it's like 60, we're gonna have enough to definitely more than enough bread in order to survive. Yeah, we're just gonna sleep the last couple of days here. We have so much extra. Yeah, eat the chickens. I don't care. So much extra bread just from a few days of JWIBULNORI. That we were very easily able to clear that level, and you see this is one I haven't cleared in hard mode, so I got a nice big chunk of blueberries to spend in the shop. All right, let me show you now. That was the deck that creates a lot of bread every day. Let me show you now a deck that's basically an infinite combo. So here is the infinite combo deck that I wanted to show you. This is a soup deck, so you're going to be gaining a lot of your, really all of your bread. From this card over here, Pepper, is while holding in hand, if you eat a soup, and I'll show you how to get soup in a second, you get 3 and this puts in the discard pile, and it's going to be an infinite combo because of this card right here, the Scholar. Scholar is a card that costs 1 energy and takes your entire discard pile and put it back into your deck, allowing you to actually draw it again. Then you can play a second Scholar to shuffle the first Scholar into your deck, and you're going to just keep on drawing them in a cycle like that. The way that you draw cards in this deck is from Housekeeper. Housekeeper costs 1 gold. I'll show you how to get gold, and you're going to be drawing 4 cards. Also, you're going to be adding 1 random soup to the discard pile. Now, soup cards are actually very good. There's 4 kinds of soup. One will draw you 2 cards. This is useful in case you need a little extra card draw. This is basically you can select one of the next 2 cards, so it's like soup but a little worse, but still good. Mushroom soup is going to give you a little extra energy. Also adds concentration to your hand, which will remove some card in your deck that you don't want in your deck. And then the almighty chicken soup, which is going to recover all of your energy. And all of these cost 0 to play. So you're going to constantly have a source of card draw to be able to keep on drawing your deck over and over again. And you're also, from the chicken soup, are going to get the energy in order to play these Scholars again and again and keep cycling through your deck. The only thing we're missing right now is how do you get this gold every single time repeatedly in order to play your Housekeeper and keep drawing the cards, and that is going to be through the combo of Rich Cousin, which is if you have 0 gold coins, you're going to be gaining 2. It only costs 1 energy, an extremely good budget card in this game. And the other card is going to be Ginsig Trade Ship. You could just do it with Rich Cousin, but this makes it easier. This says whenever you draw or play this card, so it activates twice per turn and costs 0. If the number of wheat and gold you have are different, then you get one of the lesser. And how this is going to work is that you're going to play Rich Cousin, and now you're going to have 2 gold and 0 wheat. Then when you draw your boat, you are going to gain a wheat, and then when you play it, you're going to gain a wheat. And then you can spend those 2 gold on 2 Housekeepers. You're always going to be spending it on 2 per cycle. You're only going to have 10 cards that you really need to draw, so the 2 Housekeepers will be enough card draw for you. And then every single time, now that you have the 2 wheat, you can really just not even spend energy on Rich Cousin. Save all that energy for your Scholars, and you are going to be gaining all of your gold from the trade ship because you have 2 wheat. Sitting in reserve, and you'll draw this. It'll give you a gold. You'll play it. It'll give you a second gold. And you'll be able to play again 2 Housekeepers. Let me show you exactly how this deck works, and we will get right into it. I'll just jump right into this scenario here. Alright guys, so here's how you set up the combo. You have to be a little patient. Like right now, this Ginseng trade chip is not going to do anything. You got to get the cousin first. So it's going to take a couple of days to set up the combo, a few hands, but it'll come eventually. So we don't want to spend any of your gold. You want to get up to 2 weeks. So we're really looking for our ship next. You want to play your Rich Cousin, and then you want to play your boat without spending any money here. So we're just going to sleep again. Really important to get your boat so you can get up to 2 wheat. Don't spend your gold. Okay, now we can spend our gold, and the ship is going to be giving us 2 gold every single time we cycle through our deck. So we're going to sleep. We also played a couple of the Housekeepers in order to get some initial soup, a little card draw, and again, the energy that we need in order to set up this combo. So this is awesome. We can use the ship to get back up to 2. We'll use a Housekeeper. We'll use a Housekeeper to draw the rest of our deck. We're going to play a Scholar. And then we are going to need some gold. I guess this time we're going to play Rich Cousin. It's really nice to use the Rich Cousin to get gold if you are out. We'll draw the rest of our deck. You play both of the housekeepers, you play the Jinsig trade ship, and then you're always keeping one housekeeper in your hand to draw after you've played Scholar. So now we're going to play Scholar, and then we're going to play Housekeeper. We're able to use, we didn't get our boat, so we are able to use Chicken Soup to get some energy. And we did get 9 bread here because the 3 peppers that are giving us 3 bread each went into our discard pile when we played the Chicken Soup. We will, we do actually have a little bit of money, so we will get that. The ship will bring us back up to 2. We'll shuffle everything back in, and we're going to draw again. So again, the order is Housekeeper. Always play your second Housekeeper. You got to draw your deck out. And then you play your ship, which hopefully you've gotten. Then you play your Scholar, and you play your Housekeeper. And you keep on going around like that. So Housekeeper, Housekeeper, ship, Scholar. So you want to do this a few times before eating all of your soup cards and shuffling these peppers into your deck, because you want there to just be a lot of soup in your hands. Like right now we have just kind of like a surplus. So we're going to play Housekeeper. Look at all this soup we got. Another Housekeeper, Jinsig. We are out of energy, so we are going to have to spend our first chicken soup here. So let's use that. Get a little energy. This does put 3 peppers into your discard pile, so you want there to be, in your hand a lot of corn soup and tomato soup. In case you just draw all your peppers, you really need to be always drawing your Housekeeper. So you need a little bit of card draw, again, from these soups in order that when you play this first Housekeeper, that you're always going to be drawing another one. See, this time we didn't get it, so we're going to actually use our corn soup to see if we can dig for it. We did not get it again. Let's use another one. Housekeeper is here. And then you're able to, again, do the same thing. You play Housekeeper, you play your boat, you play your Scholar. And eventually you're going to have so much energy in your hand from the mushroom soups and the chicken soups that you're never going to run out of energy. Play that. You always play your second Housekeeper because you need to have less gold. Jinsig brings you up to 2. You shuffle. We got tomato, we got chicken, we got everything here. Housekeeper. I'm just going to do this cycle a few more times. Play second Housekeeper. You play your boat. We do need some energy, so we play one of our many ways of getting energy right now. Scholar, Housekeeper. We didn't get our second Housekeeper, so you use just corn soup to look for it. Use tomato soup to draw a couple of cards. Here's our another Housekeeper. You always get the third one. Jinsig, Scholar, Housekeeper, Housekeeper. This will sort of, we didn't actually get our boat, which is the last card. So again, you use your cousin to correct that because you definitely need the money. Rich cousin, we can use a chicken soup right now. And you use the Scholar to shuffle everything in, and your Housekeeper. And your Housekeeper again, use your boat. And it just keeps going round and round like this. Scholar, Housekeeper. There's a certain point, and it's going to start right now, that we have so much soup in our hand. We have excess. We have all the card draw and all the energy that we're ever going to need, and we're going to keep on gaining them every turn. That we're going to start intentionally now playing a soup every cycle. So every single cycle, you're going to have 3 of these peppers going to your discard pile. And if you end up drawing all 3 of them on your first Housekeeper, you will have plenty of ways of drawing cards and make sure you get that second Housekeeper every single cycle. So let's start doing that. Here's our second Housekeeper. Here's the soup that we're going to play. Let's just use always mushroom soup to gain 1 extra energy, since that's the least useful soup. We'll use that to keep shuffling these in. It gives you this concentration card in your hand to remove something you don't need. Just ignore that. And you play your boat, you play your Scholar, you play your Housekeeper. We got the second one. We will play one of these. Well, we can just play the soup to grab this. And then we'll play a mushroom soup to put the last pepper into the discard pile. You play your boat, you play your Scholar, you play your Housekeeper. And round it goes. It seems like since we have 3 peppers, you really could just do this with 2 peppers. It'll make it simpler, but it seems like you're always like not drawing quite as much cards because of these peppers every single time, but it's okay. It gives you more, it gives you 9 per cycle. It's probably a little bit faster just to have 2 peppers in your deck now that I'm considering it. We do need to draw this last card, so we'll use our corn soup to grab that. You play your boat, you play your scholar, you play your house. And this, again, essentially goes forever. Unless you somehow run out of card draw, which you won't, or you run out of energy, which you also won't. I mean, look at all these chicken soups we have. This will just go on forever. And as you can see, we're at 78. Basically, I'm going to just do this whole cycle like 10 more times, and we're going to get up to 200 and then to be able to sleep for the rest of the entire match and just press sleep until we win. All right, guys, so we're up to 200 bread. That was pretty easy, and now we're really literally just going to be able to sleep for the rest. I think this will be enough for these entire 4 weeks. Again, as long as you don't have any rats in your deck stealing your bread, we should have more than enough in order to actually complete this level. Now you're just able, you do all the work on the first day, basically like a regular farmer. You do all the work on the first day, and then you sleep the rest of the year. It's essentially what we're doing. Okay, so we got past the first one. If you're really looking to get like the highest score possible, like for the leaderboard and for that number just to be as high as possible, like you could just keep on doing this. It's really just a matter of who has less of a life that you're going to be sitting for an entire week gaining as much bread as possible just to get on top of the leaderboard. But yeah, man, that was just easy as a piece of cake. The soup is OP. Again, I would suggest try to do that with 2 peppers because you saw there was always one extra card that we were cycling through the deck that we were always missing. So it'll probably just go faster with 2 peppers. You can just run whatever you want for that last card in your deck. All right, guys, so now I'm going to show you the last deck, which is a really, really fun idea. This is just going to be not one of the best decks in the game, but just something really kooky and can really show you the infinite number of just possible decks that are really, really good in this game. And I will make that for you guys right now. So here it is. It is the Fruit Basket deck. I'm showing you a budget version of it that just has these 5 rares and 5 commons in it. Let me show you what Fruit Basket does. So this costs you 3 bread. A very expensive card because he worked very hard to make that bread. And choose one person from hand to use without cost and discard. It helps you play any person you want without having to pay the cost. Is going to be 3 bread instead of the cost. So obviously, if it's just your rich cousin, you'd rather pay the 1 energy than play the 3 bread. But there is one very interesting person that you can do this with, and you're going to be getting that from the Merchants Guild. Merchants Guild is a really cool card and very effective, actually, in terms of gaining, especially in the early game, initially a lot of bread. This is going to discover 2 merchants, and merchants have all kinds of uses. Some of them you're going to be spending your gold to be buying different things like bread and like random food and resources. And then you're also going to have the rare ones, which you can spend your resources, sell them your resources in order to get food. You also have the Luxury Merchant, which is a very good card. It's probably the best one overall, which you can remove any rare card from your hand. You're usually going to be grabbing a second from your second Merchant's Guild, grabbing just a second merchant and removing that. So it'll be removing it from the game completely, and you'll get 4 bread. So think of it as you're using 2 Merchants Guilds, you're grabbing Luxury Merchants and let's say the Wandering Wood Merchant, and then you're able to use the Luxury Merchants in order to sell the other one and get 4 bread. So you're spending your 3 energy getting 4 bread, which is a cool way of just getting some initial bread that you need. In this game. You also have Peddler, which is a very interesting card that removes cards from the game and gives you a random card, and you can also get gold that way. But the main card I really want to focus on in this one is Kim Man Diok, the Great Merchant. This has a huge cost of 8 gold, but it also gives you 10 bread. And as you guess, we are going to be using the Fruit Basket on this card. It's going to cost us 3 bread, but it's going to be giving us back 10, netting 7 every time for no energy. Like the Fruit Basket, you just need the 1 energy to grab her from the Merchants Guild if you're lucky enough to find her as one of the choices. And then the Fruit Basket will be able to grab her. Now, there's a very interesting thing that happens when you use Fruit Basket, specifically on this one card this one mega merchant is that it's going to be adding a lot of undesirable cards to your deck, and we actually have the rest of the deck is in order to remove those cards from your deck so they don't brick you. The loan shark is a way to basically sell someone. If you imagine a loan shark, you've borrowed money and they come after the person and make them disappear. Well, you're going to make any person you want disappear, and he'll be transferring that into more gold. And basically, you pay 1 gold and you get 1 gold for the purpose of this deck. So basically a free way of just removing people from your from your deck, and the rich cousin will be giving you the initial gold you need to initiate the first loan shark, and so will the Jinsig trade chip. We're just running these 2 cards to make sure you never run out. Very good cards to make sure you never run out of gold or anything like that. You can also spend the excess gold that you're getting from these on the different merchants in the Merchants Guild if you want. You can buy her out straight, but you can also just spend them on getting, like, especially like the grocery merchant, which will be just 1 gold for 2 bread, plus you get random food that has all kinds of great effects. So, all right, let's get into this, and I will show you exactly how this deck works. I'm also going to do this in one of my favorite levels in the game, which is the Family of the Ruined Duke. This is a very fun level because of the special conditions that happen. It will pop up on the screen right now. My wicked uncle has taken away the title of Duke and everything belonging to our family. Although it is a humble farm, it will serve as the foundation to rebuild our family, uncover the sinister plot, and reclaim our rightful inheritance. So basically, your Duke is trying to steal the farm from you. He is going to be constantly sending spies to the farm. Family politics level. And those spies are, of course, going to be clogging your deck with cards that you don't want. The loan sharks that we have will be able to remove those spies for cheap, so you'll be able to keep on just gaining the cards that you actually want instead of gaining the spies. There's also going to be all kinds of ways he sabotages the farm. It's just part of the fun of this level. But let's just get right underway here. So we are able to use our Merchant skill to get our first one. You always want to either grab a rare, or you want to grab of course, the big gold one that we're trying to bribe with the fruit basket. Unfortunately, we did not get it. We are going to just grab a couple of wandering merchants. We'll use this, and we don't really have much to do here. These 2 wandering merchants will actually leave the game once they're discarded, which is a good thing. See that spy that went into our discard pile there? He's going to be adding some extra gold into our discard pile. I don't care. I don't need the gold. I have enough. All right, so let's use Merchant Guild. We'll take maybe the grocery merchant, and we'll take the resource merchant. I'll just show you cool ways of like spending your gold in this game. We are able to use the grocery, which will give us 2 bread. Can gain truffles, which is really good. It can increase the axe skill. I will just get a gold back. Why not? It's free gold. Use this to get an extra wheat. We'll buy something with the resource merchant, which will give us some wood and stone. Maybe that will come in handy later. Let's use our second one here. So let's do the stone merchant, and we'll do the luxury merchant. So this is a way to spend our last energy. I think I said it actually costs 3 energy to get 4. It's really 2 energy for 4, because you're gaining both of these merchants from the 1 Wandering Merchants Guild, and then the luxury merchant you can use to remove the other one, giving you 4 bread, and that was a great turn. We sleep. We're still waiting to get the big gold merchant so we can bribe her with the fruit basket. So this spy is no good. We want to use the loan shark here to remove the spy. Then we can just play this. It's just a free gold coin. Powers the next loan shark. Luxury merchant again. Luxury merchant. Always grab those. Can we get the... Really looking for the big gold rare merchant, the one that we want to bribe. That will give us, a huge amount. But we're already like at 10. Like just these luxury merchants, you know what I mean? 2 energy for 4 bread every turn is just really good. I'll use the grocery merchant here. Got a roasted fish. This a little extra energy. I don't care. I'll just get rid of that. And we sleep. We couldn't have used anyway. We couldn't have used that luxury merchant that turn. I will reveal the truth about my evil uncle. All right, so here we go. Let's see if we can get the big lady, and we did. Yes. Okay, so here we go. So we are going to use the fruit basket. we are going to bribe this merchant. And now the gossiper event happens. Did you hear the news? They say Mr. Kim Man-dok, Mrs. I think it's Mrs. received a fruit basket as a bribe. How shameless. Like, this is supposed to be an honored celebrity merchant. We don't like the fact that they just took a fruit basket in exchange for 10 bread. Come on, man. So it says remove the Kim Man-dok and add 4 suspicious neighbors to hand. So you're gone. We did get the 10 bread. You see, we went up to 19, but now we have these girls, which are basically rats. They will steal bread from you every single time unless they are dealt with. You want to remove these as quickly as possible from the game. You can spend 1 energy just to discard them. It says it seems like bread disappears every single time this person leaves, meaning goes to the discard pile. But if you play the energy, then that's not called going to the discard pile. That's just called using it. So these will actually steal 4 bread. We are going to play Rich Cousin here. Then we're going to use a loan shark to, here, you can take her. It's fine. We also got this concentration at the beginning of our turn, which removes a card. So that'll definitely be useful instead of playing energy, and then it'll come back into our deck. We'll get rid of that. We have money. Let's get rid of the spy. We have a little extra money here, so you can actually just get rid of this. A single use means that it's obliterated when you play it. And this also does give you an option of getting like an extra person on your farm. Should we look for it? Yeah, you can get Yeppy. There's a lot of options you can get. You know, Rampaging Nephew will like remove a bunch of cards that might actually be good if we had a little extra energy. We could actually remove these suspicious neighbors. Let's see if we get something good. Here's Dutch Prince, that you give him like bread every single time. And he, we'll just grab Town Guard. It just draws us an extra card, so again. Use another fruit basket? No. So these two, we just lost 2 bread because the 2 suspicious neighbors, but we'll be able to remove those eventually. It was worth it because we really gained 7 from doing the whole merchant thing. All right, Merchant's Guild. We'll go Luxury, then we'll go General, another Merchant. I think we'll grab her for the future. Maybe we'll just do, well, we can't do 2 Luxury Merchants this turn anyway. We'll do Stone Merchant, which is nice. We can sell our 1 stone and get 2, so that's good. We can do the Luxury Merchant thing. We'll sell this. I guess we're selling a merchant to the merchant. Slave trade, that's nice. And that is gonna be our turn. If we can gain a lot of extra gold, we can just pay the 10 bread merchant outright. It's actually possible. We got a Rich Cousin in our discard pile. Extra money, I'll take it. All right, let's see if we can get... Let's see if we can get the big... No, we didn't. But we didn't get the gold one, but again, we are able to play now Luxury Merchant and sell that. That will give us 4, and then this also gives us 4, which... This is really good because we just, you know, in our turn we got 8. We netted 8 there, which is ridiculous for 1 turn. And it keeps on going round and round. We got these spies that we can get rid of. The loan shark, the main thing we really want to get rid of is the suspicious neighbor. So we are going to definitely concentrate on that. Then we can remove a spy. Let's just chase them away. We don't need extra people on our farm. Then we can use Rich Cousin. And then we can remove the other spy. Go away. And we'll get an extra gold coin. Why not? And we have more than enough bread that first week. This week we need 14. We have enough of a surplus here. JWIBULNORI! We have enough of a surplus. I'll grab Abandoned Forest. It's a cool card that if you don't spend it, it will gain, you know, stone and wood, which is good to maybe sell to some of the merchants that you get from the Merchants Guild. You can sell those resources for bread, so that's awesome. Remove Rich Cousin, add... Nephew, how could you be so careless? I caught your cousin. Remember that Rich Cousin that was added to our hand last turn? I caught that cousin plotting a vile scheme within the farm, like the uncle sent him to mess something up. What would you have done if it wasn't for me? That vile guy is now going to become fertilizer. Yeah, they basically killed the cousin and turned him into fertilizer. This game is brutal, man. Let's see what we can do here. We got the Merchants Guild. One thing you can do, actually, is like grab Peddler. Oh, and we got the... Yes, we got her. I'm going to use... Oh, we do actually have extra energy this turn. We're going to use Peddler here and basically sell the suspicious neighbor to the peddler, get an extra gold, and also get a random card, which is going to be this. And we can do the fruit basket thing again. Is this the right turn to do it? I suppose it is. We'll use the boat to get another wheat. Let's use the town guard, see what's in here. Use the fruit basket, bribe you. This event happens again, which gives you all these neighbors, but I guess we have a little energy to deal with them. They'll steal 3. We'll deal with them later. So loan shark. Oh my gosh. We actually have 2 loan sharks. I'm going to do fruit basket on her again. And again, this is going to give us 10 more. But now these neighbors are actually really easy to deal with here because we can use loan shark on neighbor. Loan shark. Get rid of this one. We'll grab these. We can use the last 2 energy just to make sure they don't steal from us here. And we'll spend this on the spy. Just clear out those garbage cards out of our deck. Again, the neighbor, when you play her using energy, doesn't get rid of the deck, goes in the discard pile, but because the spy is single use, when you spend that gold, he's just gone. Discard 3 axes. It's okay. I don't need any cards in my deck. Come on, man. See what we can draw here. Use loan shark on the spy. It just costs 0 because it gives us this old coin back. There's other uses for this old coin in the game, but we're not incorporating those into the deck. We'll get rid of you. Why don't we actually try to find someone right now? What does this do? Select 1 card from my hand and make it into into drunk. Into drunk. All right, let's try it. Select a card in the hand and turn it into alcohol. So we'll do this one. Now we can do this, which will draw 4 cards. Oh, we didn't have any cards in our deck. My bad, guys. But we are able to. I think we had 1 card in our deck, and the alcohol basically removed it from the game. That's how it goes. So we got our sus neighbors here. We're gonna grab a peddler. We'll grab this. We don't really have enough energy to deal with these neighbors right now, though. I mean, we could. We have 2 energy. Let's peddle one of the neighbors off to the peddler. We got Mugwort, which is a cool single-use card. It gives you some weight. We really don't want this doing the Brad. I think because we don't have any energy to deal with the neighbors right now, we are going to not do the bribe. We have enough, and these neighbors are just going to steal 4 from us out of the 7 that we net, so let's just not do it. We'll save that combo for when we actually have the energy to deal with them, or the loan sharks. No. It's time for drunk. See, this gained 1. I'm going to turn this into a drunk. Here's some of this. Let's use you. We didn't end up burning a card that time, so that's great. Town guard. Loan shark, the suspicious neighbor. You're gone. Give me that back. We'll loan shark the spy. We don't really need this peddler anymore. Let's just loan shark the peddler to thin out our deck and so we can get our combos easier. Peddler removes a bad card from your deck like a suspicious neighbor, but it also... Here's the fertilizer from our cousin, by the way. This does the whole thing if you're like planting wheat and stuff. We really... you know, it puts another card in your deck. We want cards that just remove things, you know? So we're going to get rid of you. Oh, if you can use wood to beat your suspicious neighbors to death, so that's awesome. So it actually removed, I think, both of them from the game. Like, I don't think those suspicious neighbors... Maybe one of them went to our discard pile, but one of them just died. We hit him on the head with a stick. That's awesome. Play this. And there's really no point, but we'll see. We really do have a lot of bread from doing the bribes and from doing all the stuff. So we'll draw a card. We have 2 suspicious neighbors. We have a loan shark, though, so that's awesome. Peddler for one of these guys, and we got the big merchant. We don't really have the money for her yet, but okay, let's use loan shark to get rid of one of these neighbors. Spend the money. And we'll use peddler to get rid of this other one. Let's see what it gives us. Academy. So choose and remove 1 book from your hand. We don't have any books. And the rich neighbor, of course, doesn't do anything because we have money already. They're only generous if we're completely broke. 1 gold coin, we get 0. 0, you get 2. That's how it works. In South Korea, apparently. I don't know. change this into bread. This looks like good because we do really have a surplus of wheat here, so that's awesome. We'll be turning this wheat into bread. We can use the mugwort, which draws us a card single use and gives us a little bit of wheat, so that's awesome. We can use Town Guard, draw a card. We'll use the Loan Shark to get rid of Neighbor. Goodbye. Use the Spy. Let's see if we can find someone useful here. I'll take Grocery Merchant. Get some food. Here's rice soup, which will give us energy. Gold coin. Spy. Let's find someone that takes a lot of energy. Let's do Grandmother. Grandmother costs 1 wheat and gives you 2 random foods in your hand, which means we can draw cards and end up using our energy and stuff. Scrambled egg also gives you 1 back. We actually are going to do the fruit basket now. Look at this play. We'll use this. We'll use the fruit basket on her. And we have all this energy left over to be able to deal with these neighbors. So we're going to use the kill this one, get this one. They're going in our discard pile. We'll use the rice soup in order to deal with you, and we will mill all this into bread, which is awesome. This just gives you energy back. We don't need it for anything. You can play this, doesn't do anything. We'll remove the limestone fertilizer when we get a chance. Merchant's Guild. Got the luxury merchant combo. Can sell that. We will loan shark this spy away. Get the gold coin, and we're good. We can turn suspicious neighbor into alcohol, so that's awesome. Pretty good card for this deck, not gonna lie. We can do luxury merchant on this. We can grab some cards from our deck, why not? Remove the cards, okay. Loan shark the neighbor. Grab the gold. Loan shark the peddler. Grab the gold. There's really no point in doing this. I mean, because we don't have any resources to sell and we won't have any energy after Merchant's Guild, so let's just leave that. But we really actually have enough now. I'm having fun playing this level, but we really do truly have enough. As long as our suspicious neighbors are not, stealing our bread. We have 42 out of 21, so we're just going to sleep the next couple of days. Going to get some goddamn rest. We have to make sure these are not stealing our bread, though. The only thing we got to make sure is that we're not going down in bread. Even though we have a lot of extra, it's not going to matter. All right, and that's going to be the level. So just a really quirky, there's so many really quirky decks, where like you're using things to bribe people and you're killing people and selling them and selling people you don't want to merchants and stuff like that. Anyway, that is going to be the end of this tutorial for Harvest 101. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been a game that I've been, again, really, really enjoying and addicted to. If you want to see more of this game, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Peace. This is Fry.